Hi Leo, here's a general look at your solar chart for April 2013, and this is a good seeking kind of energy this month. Finding out stuff, getting a bigger picture. Every year at this time the sun goes into this area of your chart and it's in a fellow fire sign, so that always is good news for other fire signs and also air signs. And until the 20th, the sun is in a very expansive area, so the advice would be to get out and about more, to plunge into new environments, to learn stuff. Some of you could be feeling, you know, that you've got itchy feet. This energy came in late March, and with the solar vibrations increasing opportunities for you to escape the daily grind and get into new territories, whether those territories are physical ones or mental ones, or maybe they're both. During this period you may be feeling more enthusiastic about life. You may be fuller of ideas, maybe thinking about a new project. Anything new though requires research, or any course that you're on or any learning that you're doing in other ways also requires that you puzzle it out, join up the dots. So there's a lot of that kind of energy going on at the moment. It's also a good time to test the waters on something, ask lots of questions, put the word out to more people. And when I said seeking, you know, this could add up to spiritual seeking for some of you as well. So maybe a good time to take a pilgrimage. So however it is for you, this is a good moment to access a place outwardly or inwardly where you can zoom out and get the overview and refresh your mind and spirit. And then from the 20th, you'll probably be taking your targets and your overall direction in life more seriously, getting into the routines there with things, thinking about your role, your image, or how you're packaging something, and thinking about your responsibilities more in life. Now Mercury's been in this place for a very long time and will remain there until the 14th when it finally moves. But as I said last month about this area, it's an area where you can be strategic, where you'll have the urge to dig and delve down into something and to get some insight, to get the bottom line on something. And depending on which area you're digging into, but conversations and communications and maybe paperwork, perhaps travel could be connected with getting to the very sort of nub of the matter, really, getting to the marrow. And your thinking could also have to incorporate the financial aspects, or be thinking around property or a space, inside, outside space, and also having to factor in somebody else in a relationship, whether that is in a relationship you choose or just like an outside agency type relationship, but you know what their rules and regulations are, what their schedules are, what their values are. You know, it's sort of almost like down to that, you know, how do my values match with yours sort of thing. And there could be more thinking around an agreement, a contract, whether that's just, you know, between two people like you in your personal life, or whether it's something more business orientated. But also at this time it's a good idea, if you need it, to get confidential advice, but also you're tending to keep certain things under your hat. You're tending to keep your cards close to your chest with certain people about certain things. So making sure that private conversation with whoever it is genuinely confidential, but turn that around and it could mean that others are speaking in a confidential way to you, making their feelings known about things. And you are having to work harder at communicating in a more sensitive kind of a way, you know, cutting out the fluff, cutting out sort of the sort of pink candy floss, if you know what I mean anyway, and just getting right in there to what matters, on the level of feelings, on the level of emotions, but also on the level of, you know, the bottom line, where the bottom line is financially as well. So and also it's probably easier, because your feelings will be more sensitive, for somebody to sort of push your buttons and get at you, or you kind of feel a bit turbulent inside and maybe don't let on about it. But then Mercury moves out of that place that it's been in since, I think, February, and moves into a far more outward area, and actually moves into where the sun is. So you should be feeling more upbeat then mentally, and you're feeling freer, you're thinking outside of the box. It's easier to think outside of the box and get the bigger picture, following up on whatever it is that you've been interested in, and maybe connecting with people further afield, or with interests further afield. There may be more of an opportunity to connect with people who are from a very different background to yours, and sort of comparing notes, as it were. And Mercury, it works very well out of this communicative sector. It could be that you feel that you're much more informed by the time this transit's finished, but also on another level. I mentioned seeking. If it's to do spiritual seeking, then you could feel that you've had teachings which are valuable to you. And also, once again, we can turn that around and say others may view you as the one who has the information, who has the ability to do the talking, or to, you know, be the agent, the go-between, but also could be the teacher, could be the mentor figure, could be the guide. Now Venus, until the 15th, Venus is lighting up the area that the sun is in, and that means that places and faces at a distance could have a sort of heart connection for you, or just more of an appeal for you, because you know, it's a place or a space that you much prefer, because it's more, you see it as more beautiful or more exotic in some way. And as I said, Mars is also in this very expansive area of your solar chart, along with the sun, until the 20th. And so that means that when you are plunging into new situations, or learning all this new stuff, and getting the overview, you shouldn't be getting tired out. When you are being there as the guide or mentor or teacher for others, you shouldn't be letting yourself get tired out. So as you're pushing the envelope of daily life and going off and doing your course in belly dancing, or woodworking, or bookbinding, or how to do hula hooping, then, you know, just don't overdo it, because that's always the way with Mars. You know, we overstretch and then we kind of regret it. And you'll be finding out lots of new stuff during this time, even, you know, on the academic side as well, and using your intellect. So it doesn't have to be all the physical, although with Mars it does tend to mean that you should be just getting out of the normal territories and just pushing yourself out there a little bit further. And then from the 20th is a period when you'll be feeling like you've got to take your responsibilities in life more seriously. You might be feeling a bit more competitive in the area of career, profession, goals or ambitions. It doesn't have to be about a big career thing, but it can be. There could be via points or via points on the way to your horizon, on the way to your targets, whether those are short-term targets, long-term goals. And over this transit, Mars could inspire you to improve your image, think more carefully about reputation, about how something's being packaged and presented. And Mars loves decisiveness and energy and drive, and it will open that sort of conduit in you, or you can channel that through yourself. But as I say, just pace yourself as well and don't go too fast. Mars can be controversial. He likes a good punch up. He likes a good, shall we say, debate. So you can be getting hot under the collar with those who you think are being too slow on the uptake, or dragging their feet, or just plain annoyingly uncooperative. You could cross swords with those in positions of power and authority, or people you look up to, or for, you know, I mean, establishment figures. Ah, that's a good one. Establishment figures or petty officials, I was thinking, but they kind of sort of merged together there. So establishment figures, and just, you know, if you keep calm and keep your head, keep your cool, you should make good progress with Mars in this area here. Now, until June, Jupiter is helping you to grow through your new associations and friendships in this life. Jupiter is in a 12-month transit through this area, and has got just a couple of months to go, actually, because it comes out of there in June. So, and has been in there since last June. So you could have connected in with a collective with whom you've got interests in common. Maybe you're expanding more within a collective that you've already got. Maybe you're doing more things within that collective, a group, and also perhaps making new friends, making new colleagues, co-workers, just those with whom you share a common understanding over this phase, and you're learning more together. And you Leos born between the 3rd and the 11th of August, or with around 11 to 18, 19 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. Saturn, well, from October 2012 you began a 2.5 year transit of Saturn in the root of your chart, in quite a dynamic, harder working angle to your sun sign, Leo, meaning that you've got to work harder to juggle all the balls, coordinate those within your community, your family, your neighborhood, your commitments at home, your commitments somewhere else maybe, your commitments to your family, your commitments to your whatever else it is, work, job, you know, partners, whatever, and co-workers, I mean, and just anything you've been tolerating regarding any of this area here, domestic setup as well, place on the map, will seem to bother you just a little bit more, and will begin to need your attention depending on where the degree of Saturn is in relation to your natal chart. So maybe you feel something lacking regarding any of these areas here. And if you do, then Saturn, the great builder, yes, she is the great challenger and tester of the zodiac, because she tests our strength, our character, our mettle, our grit. She is also a great ally because she loves to build. So brick by brick, step by step, you can create a new foundation to your life. So it might be later rather than sooner. By that I mean nothing with Saturn happens quickly, so you've just got to keep plugging away there, but you'll get there in the end, because the criteria of Saturn is to, you know, be slow but sure, like the tortoise. And you Leos born between the 29th of July to the 3rd of August, or with 7 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. Uranus is going through a fantastic area of your solar chart, and slowly changing the way you think, the way you feel about things, your beliefs about things, and you will be realizing all sorts of stuff, and inspired as well, and there's more to do with this world than you ever realized before, really. And so yes, so you will really be opening your mind to new realities, in whatever way, on whatever level. And you, Lewis, well, actually that's going to be on my website, so have a look at my website. And the new position of Neptune means that boundaries can get blurred sometimes, relating to joint finances, jointly held property interests, a space, just an object that's lent or borrowed or shared. You know, it's more likely that you've got to be more careful, more clear about, you know, what belongs to who, and where the line is between. And also in relationships as well, you know, who's doing what, and you know, and what belongs to who. But on the flip side, Neptune here can mean that you connect on a in a very deep way, and there's deeper fulfillment for you in love relationships, and finding a soulmate as well. And the part of the sign that's going to be affecting the most is on my website. And then the life-changing force of Pluto, now in Capricorn until 2024, means that you're regenerating from deep levels regarding the kind of work you do, the way you do it, the methods you use, why you're doing it, and it will change. It will bring, you know, some things will have to be cleared away, and the decks will clear, and then you will regenerate and the new green shoots will come up. It's also about health as well, and over this long transit, some of you are going to let go of old attitudes or standpoints regarding maybe health problems, or looking at, you know, why certain health problems arise, or certain behaviors that maybe you do which you know are perhaps unhealthy, why you keep doing them. So looking very intensely and deeply into things whenever Pluto is connecting maybe with an important point in your solar chart, sorry, in your natal chart. And again, there's this feeling of clearing stuff away and then renewing, but the compelling nature of Pluto means that both of these two areas here, you will become increasingly keen to be in control of methodologies, or what you're doing and the way you're doing your work, and co-workers, and also in control of your own health. You know, I've had enough of hearing that this therapy and that jungle juice and this practice and that doctor, you know, can do XYZ for me. I'm going to take control here. I'm going to, you know, go in the direction of what feels right for me. And yes, I'm going to make some mistakes, but I'm going to do things in an experimental kind of a way until you know, I hit that vein of gold. If it's like that for you. But that's the kind of example, you know, you just got this urge to have more control. And the part of the sign that's you, Leos, is being affected at the moment will be on my website. Uranus, Neptune and Pluto positions don't change very much month on month. And just a little addition at the end, around the 1st or 2nd of the month, something underlying could come to light which can clear the air. There might be a sort of a bit of a jolt there with your feelings as well. Around the 21st, 22nd, tendency to narrow thinking in somebody around, blinkered thinking in somebody around, maybe you. So just remember on those dates there to keep an open mind and know that there's other ways of seeing things. On the 22nd, don't expect too much from yourself or from others on the heart level, so you can sort of keep a low profile there maybe. On the 28th and also the 30th to the 1st of May, there's a bit more atmospheric pressure to push against there, a bit more responsibility maybe, or just sort of a heavier energy really, but stay positive and just go forwards confidently and slowly. Don't expect to sort of dash on ahead there. And that's it for April. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listening to the forecast for those might give you a different slant on what I've said here and add to or subtract from what I've said here. And I will see you the next time.